Hey guys, welcome back to the Life in a Bottle podcast. We're gonna have a short one today with just your two hosts, me, Arnell, and Justin over on the other
Yes,
side.
sir. It's been a minute,
Uh,
right?
yeah, it's always been a minute. We always say we're back, and then we dip again. But I
Life gets in the
apologize for
fucking way
that.
of things.
Yeah, it's uh, it's just really hard right now, given the situations and everyone else's situation too. It's just really hard. So we're gonna start pushing out these mini episodes,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah,
just so we can get something rolling. And Justin can present the topic for today.
yeah. So definitely. So in the group, I vote Vape Squad versus. A lot of us
Hmm.
are into cars, so I think a cool topic would be like how cars shape our lives. Um, I'll start off with like how I got into cars. When I was younger, actually, my dad used to work at like a Kmart, and he every week he'd bring back like a Hot Wheels to give to me. So I used to collect them. So that's like
Okay.
kind of my introduction into it. So like had like a bunch of Hot Wheels, had like the little ramps and shit. That was one of them. Um, my dad, my brother used to play like games on the PS1. Need for Speed, like Hot Pursuit and all of them. That's like my introduction to like arcadey type of racing games. And then,
Hmm.
like I fell in love with like the Lambos, Ferraris, all the exotic cars. And when Gran Turismo came out, that kind of like got me to like the more realistic approach to racing, where you have to modify, you have to like make adjustments to your brakes, your engine to like win races, and
Hmm.
um, how realistic physics work in on the track. So that was like the probably the biggest one. So it got me like my interest peaked into cars and racing. And I obviously later on, early 2000s, the Fast and Furious franchise, the first Fast and Furious came out, and like that got me into like tuners.
That's right.
Seeing like Paul Walker's like clips with the underglow, um, the Arc Sevens, Supras. Um, Definitely kind of like that's a full dive. After that, I'm like I'm invested. Like
Hmm.
this one I want to do. I want to get a dope ass like Japanese car and like modify it. And I
Yeah.
think some things that definitely kept me interested were like the Initial D anime.
Right.
They kind of
Yeah.
like
Classic.
yeah, it was cool because it kind of gave you like a more Japanese portrayal of like racing and toges and tuners out there compared to like
Yeah.
Fast and Furious, which is like more westernized um, racing and modifying.
Yeah. And it's more like a slow burn because it's a TV series versus like Tokyo Drift, which was just like one set movie, all the action in Tokyo. Where Initial D is just like a daily life of like these like little streetcar groups and
Japanese
mm,
teenagers like race in the mountain.
yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, on top of that, also the games. I don't know if you play the games, but like the Initial D games and the One Gun Midnight games, those are definitely like super dope.
In the arcades?
Yeah. The arcades like
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay,
Qzar or
yeah.
something.
Yeah. Qzar. Shout out to Qzar.
Shout out Qzar, RIP. I don't know, they're still
Hmm.
open, I think. So
I think they are, but I don't think it's gonna be for long, unfortunately.
yeah, yeah. If you
But
wanna
yeah.
get into your how you got into cars,
Okay. Um. Well, if that's it for Justin, I'm pretty much pretty similar. My dad didn't work at a Kmart early on. I didn't collect Hot Wheels, but I guess the first thing is my dad did like working on his own car, which I always thought was like he didn't get nice cars or nothing. He had like a '90s Honda Civic hatchback, and he would just work on his car. And he had his friend who would always come over and help him with like tools or like certain like things here and there. And then I remember he told my dad like, "Oh, you should get your son in the cars," and he's like, "I don't know if he would like it. How would what would you start him off with?" And he's like, "Here, let me give him my Fast and Furious game or Need for Speed game, and maybe he'll like it." And it
for
was a Need
speed.
for Speed Underground one, and I got on that game, and like that was the first like I was really young. I was probably like 5, 6. How old was I? Yeah, 5 or 6, somewhere below 10, and like all the hip hop music in that game, like
Oh my, the soundtrack was
the
nuts.
soundtracks were like. yeah, I that like that also started like my part of like what I listen to music today, because I would just like listen to whatever my parents listen to. But yeah, and then I was like, oh, and then the car customization. I was like, oh, I didn't know you can make cars look different than when you buy them. And then like, and then like you would start seeing like different models. Like, oh, um, the Mitsubishi's or the Mitsubishi like Evolution looks like this, and it's got like these stats. Oh, these this is a fast car. Oh, the Honda Civics are not that quick. Like I was just like I would like hella look into it and stuff like that. And then like that led me into like when Fast and Furious came out, I was like, oh, we gotta watch these now because like, oh, this is like real life instead of like a video game, and you have to see how cars really look like and people interacting with them, and that was hecka cool. Um, and then like I moved on to from Fast and Furious or from Need for Speed. I had an Xbox growing up, so when the Forza series came out, opposite from PlayStation, pretty similar experience. Like they have like all these like you can customize like oh you can like change like all the like the little small things, and like you can adjust like the gear ratios and stuff like that. I was like, what the fuck is that? And like you would like adjust it, and it like got me more in depth into like more car culture. And then so much so that like when I got into high school, my high school had an auto shop, so I took that for sure. I was like, oh, I'm gonna join the auto shop academy. And it's like this little academy. You take like certain classes, and then you take like we had like a huge shop. It had like a lift. We had like a mini junkyard in the back of our school, so we had many cars to work on. And I thought that was really cool. That was really cool. And then when I graduated from high school, I got a car. It was a manual. My uncle gave me his 1996 Nissan Sentra. It was a two door. So the two door is called a 200 SX, and everyone thinks like, oh, you have a 200 SX. I'm like, no, it's the Sentra. It's a two door Sentra. But it was pretty cool though, and like from working on like from playing all these games, I was like, oh, I want to fix it myself. If like there's an oil change, I want to change like wheels and tires, like all those like small little things, replacing fluids. Nothing crazy. Spark plugs. It felt like really easy and accessible on like a '90s car, a '90s Japanese car. And then yeah, and then like after that, just kept rolling with it. Got new cars after that. Met friends who like cars. Went to car meets, and yeah, and then now we're here.
Yeah, actually, you kind of remind me of a lot of stuff too. Like Underground is definitely. I totally forgot like name Underground. I did name Need for Speed, but like I played Hot Pursuit, which was like more exotic cars.
More
When the
exotic
Underground
cars,
came
yeah.
out, it was like the tuners. I'm like, oh man, the underglow, the
Yeah,
decals.
all those like crazy stuff.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah,
oh
yeah.
man. Even nowadays, like I always refer back to Underground when I go modify cars. I'm like, they want to go all the way extra and go Underground mode.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It was different from Hot Pursuit because it was like it felt like I don't know. It felt like I don't know. There's something about like customizing your car and making it your own, and then winning races with that car makes you feel like
Yeah,
you're not just uh driving a Ferrari or like a Lamborghini.
you're
Like,
not
oh,
paying
that's
to
just for
win.
speed. Yeah, you're just paying to win. But like, oh,
Yeah, you're building something, kind of like how we do in real life cars. Like you build something and you win with it.
yeah, you build something and you win with it. Like, oh, I can make this, like, oh, this like Civic or this little like car that was like D class. Like they had like classes, I think so. And then like yeah, you would just make that car faster than the fucking Ferraris that you race like in the end game. Like, oh, I still have my old car. I put like all this expensive ass shit in it. It was pretty cool.
Exactly. I got like a '97 Civic, a EcoBox, smoking Mustangs. Like,
Yeah, you're smoking Mustangs and you got like all this shit in it. It's really cool.
and kind of like what your dad did. Like my dad, and my uncle, like they're not mechanics whatsoever, but they're super handy. Like they'll figure things out. There's something wrong
Yeah,
with the car, like alternators or even like engine mounts. They figure it out the old school way. Like before YouTube, they had like books. Like
yeah, yeah,
they buy it from like AutoZone and they read through it and like fucking figure things out and they fix it themselves. And I think I kind of picked up on that. Like so, moving forward, I kind of work my own stuff. I do my own oil changes, spark plugs, stuff like
yeah.
that. And
That's so funny.
kind of reminds me of the first Fast and Furious movie. You know how like Dom has a one house that everyone kicks it at.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Back in high school, my friend he was like the go-to house where everyone kicked it at. So like we also used to work in cars in his driveway, and there'd be like modified cars outside the house.
Hmm. That's pretty cool. Like you
Yeah,
had like
that
Dom's
was like a
driveway.
fast house.
That is the fast house. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah,
No, wow. That's so funny. You mentioned like the little. That's yeah. They didn't have YouTube back then. My dad would just know, and I respected that. I was like, oh, he can fix it by himself.
yeah,
You don't
bro.
have to
They
go to
did
the
the old school
dealership.
ass way.
And I remember when I got my first my Sentra, my dad told me to go to AutoZone and get one of those books, and I was like,
The
no,
books,
Dad, I
right?
can. Yeah, and I was like, no, it's okay. I can Google it. He's like, no, you can't trust Google. You have to get the official book. I was like, nah, it's cool though, and like that's so much more like harder work. Like you had to go find how to fix your own car, and like find
Yeah,
the
yeah.
pages and like read the entire thing. Like my dad would read the entire thing for his cars, and I was like, man, he was really into it. Or
That's
like you'd have
G.
to know someone. Yeah, you just have to know or talk to other people about it. There's no forums like back
Yeah,
then when we were
exactly.
kids. They literally have to make friends with people with those cars and like, oh, what's that? What's this? What's that? You can't just look it
Hmm.
up. It's really cool.
Exactly. Like, um, yeah, my dad nowadays when he works on the cars, like do maintenance or fix stuff, he just YouTube's it and Google's it. And he's like every
Hmm.
time he's like, "Thank God we got YouTube and Google." Because back then I had to like read the fucking books and that was a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
He
Uh
spent
huh.
like a whole night like reading through that shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Them
I'm like,
books were
man.
they were thick. They were like
They
a
were
fucking yellow
thick.
page.
They were like phone books. It was kind of crazy. I was like, it was a bit of a turnoff. I was like, heck no, I'm not reading this. Back in
Props to
auto
them
shop,
though.
we had
Like
to
it's
read
tough.
those. Like in my class, we'd have to read those, and I'm like, this is so dumb. I can Google this.
Actually
But I
reminds me.
don't
Too, I
know.
used to like because my school didn't have auto shop, unfortunately. But my friend at Clayton Valley, they had like some nights at open shop. So
Hmm.
after like school ends, the shop will be open. So I'd take my car in and like work on it and stuff. Learn how to, like balance tires.
Wait, where?
It was Clayton Valley. They have like the auto shop class.
Oh, okay. Not your school. You'd go to another school,
Yeah, because we didn't have auto shop in our school. So
and they let you.
um yeah, they had like an open shop night. So like I think you sign something and like you can take cars or work on their cars with them.
That's pretty tight.
Yeah, it's pretty tight. Like I learned a lot of stuff while attending that class or school.
Yeah. Don't have to pay nothing. Just go get what you need
Yes,
and get
sir.
out. That's pretty cool.
I feel like I'm missing something when it comes to like influences.
Uh, I don't know. I mean, like, to add on to like things, like especially the internet, there's so many like YouTube channels and like uh or like what was it? Han from Fast and Furious, Sung Kang. He like I remember I watched this, like little documentary of him fixing like this little 240 for one of the for this auto for the auto show in Vegas. What is that called? It's
SEMA?
slipping my mind right now. Yeah, yeah, yeah. SEMA.
Thanks.
And he got this like two. He like wide bodied it. He like put a like hell of money into it, and like watching that in real life, that was like a real life example of like seeing like in Fast One when Paul Walker was like in the garage like remake like building from the ground up his car, but you saw it like in real time like this actor actually does that in real life,
He knows
and he
how to do it.
recorded
Like
it.
he's
He knows
about
how
it.
to do it. Yeah,
It's
and then
pretty
I would
dope
see
seeing
that.
that.
Yeah, you watched it?
No, not like him specifically, but like seeing like actors who actually know cars, like Paul Walker. He can
Oh yeah, like
drive.
Paul Walker. Yeah, he
He can
can.
actually
He
drive
he
really
did his
fucking
own.
good.
Yeah, he did his own things and everything. Yeah, it was really cool. It's like it made the movie feel more real because you're like, oh, these
Yeah,
guys
it's more
actually
legit,
like what
right?
they do. Yeah, even though like they're kind of silly, I'm not gonna lie. Those movies start getting sillier later, but they still have the love for cars. And honestly, if it was me and I was like, I could make car movies, and the only excuse was like, oh, we have to like add these crazy shit. Like as long as I can make movies about cars, at the end of the
Yeah.
day, and you make money for it, yeah, I probably would be doing the same thing.
Fuck it.
Yeah, I don't know. Cars are just like glorified toys for like adults.
Yeah, expensive toys.
Expensive
Um,
toys.
Top Gear, also
Oh
one
yeah,
of like
Top Gear.
yeah,
Yeah,
Top
that
Gear.
was.
Love that show. I mean, obviously they're in a different show now, the Grand Tour, but growing up, Top Gear was definitely like there when it comes to like influences because I used to watch that all the time.
I would watch it here and there. I started in high school because we actually watched Top Gear episodes for class. Sometimes, like our movie days, we're watching Top Gear in that class, which is so funny.
Top Gear is fun because it's super entertaining, but you learn shit about the cars.
Yeah, it was like it was entertaining because they were funny and like they'd make jokes and banter within one another. But then you'd learn like some car you didn't even care about, like a Beetle or like I don't know, some random ass car, some old retro car, or new upcoming cars. They would like showcase it and they would like tell you like all the specs and what like what critics would say about it, but their thoughts on it, and they would like do like the timed races, and like you'd be like,
With
oh
Stig.
wow, this car is actually kind of fire, yeah, or like,
Not just that, I think
oh they,
the most important part about like Top Gear is they explore the car's history a lot of times, like the
yeah,
roots of it, where it came from, the different models in the past, and it brings you up to current speed. And in that short amount of time, you kind of learn about like the car's history or the company's history.
yeah, you do, and it makes the no matter what the car is, you just appreciate it way more because you're like, oh, this came from this and that, and oh, it was made because of like this war, and now it's like this, it's a certain way because of this, and you'd be like, oh man, that's even like that's cooler.
I
Yeah.
think we can move on to the next little mini subject we have. Preference in cars. Well, types of cars. For me, I love my Euros. Obviously, like
Mm-hmm.
I drove BMW. I drove 3 Series, 5 Series. I had like a 2016 GTI. I just love the way to drive. Like BMWs ride super smooth, give you a good amount of powers. I mean, it's not the most luxurious. I think BMW in terms of like luxury, it's kind of like closer to bottom tier. Surprisingly,
Okay.
yeah. If you're like looking at tiers, like Mercedes or even Audi outclasses them in interior. When it comes to performance,
I would
I do
believe
like
that.
BMWs more. Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
think
think
they're
the
more
driving experience.
performance. Yeah, yeah, driving experience.
Yeah, but obviously I can't turn my back on tuners. You know, like
Mm-hmm.
I started, I really got invested into cars because of tuners, like the Fast and
Mm-hmm.
Furious, Underground, and now I'm back to driving a tuner. So
What car are you driving right now?
you know, this Subaru WRX.
Oh, okay. I just wanted our viewers to know.
I also I think it's kind of a pride thing where like I know there's muscle cars you can buy them for like you can buy them, they have like 400 or 500 horsepower, but getting like an EcoBox or like a Japanese car with like good economy and tuning it to like smoke
Yeah,
them,
little four
it feels
cylinder.
good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Little four banger smoking like a V8.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, and you like you give more props to that person because like, oh wow, he did something to his car to outspeed that guy.
Yeah, exactly. You
Yeah,
built it, you know.
yeah. It's like there's more passion behind it too. You know, I like. I'm more of a I'm a tuner guy. Uh, I guess what was it? My dad always drove like Japanese cars, and like my first car was a Nissan. Then I moved on to an Acura, and then now I have a Mazda. I just always thought like I guess like I never had like a lot of money, so I always wanted to know what is like something I can buy that I can work on myself without getting like any extra stuff and having to worry about some other things like that. And like I'm like a Honda fanboy. I prefer like Honda all the way. But then like, you know, I can delve into other Japanese cars and I still find like to this day I'm still finding out more things and like stuff I like, stuff I don't like. I mean, that's what I mean, I don't know, being a car guy, you, like throughout your life you just change cars like, oh, I'm going to try this now, I'm going to try this now, I'm going to try this now. Like even, no matter what you hear from other people, when you drive it yourself and you have it
It's
yourself,
different.
it's different, yeah.
Yeah, people can say whatever they want, but obviously that's a subjective thing, you know. Like I can say I don't like the RSX. It drives to whatever, whatever. But
Yeah, yeah.
it's different from actually experiencing it and like you driving it around, getting the feel for it, like how it handles, how it sticks to the ground, all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, like people like will bag on like a lot of like the what's it called? The FRS BRZ twins, um, like Miatas. you know, all these little like small cars that like don't have high horsepower, but when you drive it and then you drive it like around like little like twisties and stuff like that,
It's
little
fun.
toge,
It's fun.
it's
It's fun.
fun. And you're like, oh shoot, it holds on to the road like really good. And then you start seeing like I don't need all this power to have fun. And you like, and then going back to like
Exactly.
Initial D and stuff like that, you're like, oh, this is what they mean. Oh, front wheel drive isn't trash. That's just what like people say. If you know how to drive a front wheel drive car right, it actually feels pretty good. And like this,
Yeah,
I don't know. There's like a
exactly.
hella things. Yeah.
Because people, there's a lot of people who are just like numbers people. They're like, oh, on paper, this has way more power, so it's better or whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
the cool thing about, like, for example, the FRS 86 BRZ, they're not too powerful, but you get to use more of the car when you do push it,
Yeah.
and that makes it way more fun than driving like a V8 Mustang with 500 horsepower. You can't really floor it, otherwise you spin out.
Yeah, and it's not like I don't know. Like in my little Miata, it's like 180 horsepower or something like that. And that sounds like, oh, that's so unimpressive. Like there's Camrys that are way that can gas that thing. But then when you drive it, you feel the little go kart go, and you feel like you're going 100. You feel like you're going 100, and you like look down and you're going 40. You're like, oh wow. But it's like it's cool because like you can rev it out all the way, and you can feel like you're speeding, but then in reality you're just having fun and you're going the speed limit. And I feel like that's way more worth than holding back on a
It's way
car.
more fun. Exactly.
Yeah, it's way more fun. I mean, a
Yeah,
little
you
more
use
power
the
is
car more.
always fun, but yeah, legally you can't you can't knock on those cars. It's they really like they don't make those cars just like let's just throw this little cool looking car out. Not a lot of power. They there's a lot of thought that goes into like the chassis and like the driving experience and everything. They don't just throw
Yeah,
those out there. Yeah,
like
and that's also a tuner
the
car. It's made they make them just so you can make them even better.
I was about to
You
say
know?
Miata's kind of a half and half now because technically, the Fiat
Yeah,
it's like
Fiat.
a Euro slash tuner
Yeah,
now.
it's Euro slash tuner because they share the same chassis and engine and everything with Fiat now with their 124 Spider. But I mean, I don't know. I wanted that car because I just like the little Euro look. But the Mazda
It's
is
a
actually
little
pretty nice.
quicker too, right? I think it's boosted.
It's quicker. It's boosted. It's quicker. But I don't know. I guess I got
That's what it is.
hard. Yeah, I got a hard top
Also,
Miata that
I'd go Miata because I think I like the history behind the Miata a little more.
the history behind the Miata is pretty cool. And like I'm not gonna lie, like now I appreciate the Miata so much that when I see like those beat up little '90s Miatas, I'm like, damn, like now I want to drive those because I never got those when I always thought those like, those are like cool, you know. Those probably gonna get stolen the next day. Oh, it's probably like hella cramped in there. But driving my car now, I want to go back and try those
Yeah.
other cars. Yeah,
Hopefully, we
yeah,
network and find someone with an older
yeah,
Miata.
yeah. Hopefully, have a
Yeah.
different car per person, so we all have like variety. It's pretty nice. Also, like when you're like another thing that like gets you more into cars is like the car community. When you meet people that have the same car as you or like the same like tuner cars, Euro cars, you guys will click just because you guys have like the same fucking car. Or I find
Yeah, yeah.
myself waving at people just because they have the same car at me. Like they'll like pull up and they'll be like, and I'll be like, like
Exactly.
car people
Same
are
with
so
Subarus.
like, yeah, Subaru people be like,
Yeah,
hey, like,
Subaru's a thing. Like, if you go Reddit, like everyone waves to each other. It's pretty cool. Like, if you're driving a Subaru, you have to like wave at someone with a Subaru.
yeah, it's so funny and it's I laugh at myself because it's like it's so it feels so dumb, but it's also so cool because that's how like passionate you are about cars and like when other
You
people
like
see
it.
it in you, you're like, okay, I'm not
When
crazy.
someone shows you
Oh,
love,
okay,
you're like, that's dope.
yeah, yeah, I chose this car for a reason, and you know why.
It's kind of cool thing. Like, going back to like how we got into cars. Like, the car community itself, for the most part, is pretty cool. Like, there's dope ass people in the community, right?
Yeah.
But there's also like them sub communities inside those, like the car community, tuner community. Then you have like the smaller communities dedicated to like Miatas, to like Subarus,
Yeah.
and it makes it like so much better because like you're more like tightly knit,
Mm-hmm.
and just dope having like a mini culture inside like a bigger culture.
Yeah, I mean, just like a couple weeks ago, I pulled up to this car meet, and I like halfway through, I'm like, oh my god, this is a super car meet. Like I was like looking, I was like, oh, it's a Supra. Oh, it's a Supra. Holy fuck, they're all
And you click
Supras.
click your head
And
like,
it
wait
like
a
I was
second,
like,
they're
oh
all
my
fucking
god,
Supras.
yeah. And
Is
then
that a
like,
Supra?
yeah, I was like, I was wiping my glasses the entire time. Like, no way. And it is crazy because yeah, it's like meeting other people with the same car. It's like, dang, I had an idea right then and there. You made me forget it. But
Oh,
no, I'm just
my
kidding.
fault. What the fuck?
But no, yeah, it's just it is really cool to share a passion like about that, and like that's like um chimes back to like tuner cars because oh, I remember it's because like you know when you go to car meets, right, and it's really just guys. I mean there are some like other people, but like it's literally just like cars lined up and people just
Yeah.
walking around and talking about cars. And like I remember I brought my one friend and she was like, "This all you guys do?" And I was like, "Well, yeah. I mean, like she's like, "You guys aren't gonna like race or nothing after this?" I was like, "No, we're just talking about cars. We're just chilling." And she like didn't get it, and I was like, "But it's like when you get it, and like everyone appreciates each other. It's like you just want to talk about your own cars and find out what other people do
It's just meeting
with
cool ass people,
yeah,
honestly.
and like they're like, "Oh, I did this." Like when you know cars and you're like, "Oh, that's not supposed to be there. How'd you do that?" And they're like, "Oh, I like Frankenstein did this, and that," and it's like your mind's blown. It's like, dang, it's
That's the
just
cool part.
all come. Yeah,
Like the cars is like a conversation starter.
it really is. Yeah,
It really is. Like you walk up and like, oh, I like the way you did this and this, or like, hey, what you have under the hood, and like, yeah,
yeah,
you get like the breakdown of the car, but then it opens up to like me and that person. You guys like chop it up, and you guys become like homies.
yeah. I like early on when I first went to my first couple car meets, I obviously like I did not know a lot. I was just like, I'm just gonna go and see nice cars, and people like more often than not they won't shame you. They'll be like, you're like, what is that? And then they're like, oh, that's like the boxer engine, blah blah blah. And like they're more than happy to talk about their own car. People love talking about their own car. And like the benefit to you is like you get to learn more. You're not just like sitting there like scared, like, oh, I don't know what the fuck that is. Like people are hella nice in the car community.
Yeah,
It's really cool.
I'm correct me if I'm wrong. I think the way me, you, Grant, and Lucas met was through cars.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of us from our group, yeah, that's how I met
Larry, even
Larry,
Alexio, Abe. I think
Alexio,
we all
Abe.
kind of like clicked because the cars initially.
Initially, yeah.
There's an example right there. Like,
It's crazy. It's crazy because yeah, it's just you just like, oh, I remember one of our friends, Larry, I don't know if he's gonna ever hop on the podcast, but if he ever does, but he was
Galgis.
like, yeah, this is yeah. Maybe I shouldn't say that part, but yeah, we started a conversation because he looked at my car keys that were hanging from my pocket, and he was like, "Oh, you drive an Acura? What kind of Acura?" And I was like, "An RSX? Why? What's up?" And then he would like, "Oh, I used to have this, blah blah blah. My friend had that." And then yeah, that really just starts a conversation right there from him just looking at my car keys. That's crazy.
Is dope. Like, it definitely like links people up.
It really
One of
does.
the dopest part, of, like the car community.
Hmm. Oh, I didn't spend $5,000 for nothing. Oh, I can talk about it with you. But no, it's
Sheesh.
also like it's almost like a car is almost like a trophy sometimes. You know, like you find yourself looking back at your own car and it's like
Always.
maybe to someone else it's like, oh, that's just a Subaru, but then you're looking at it like, oh, that's my Subaru. I picked that color, I picked those wheels, I picked that. It stance the way I wanted to.
If you look back at it, you know it's worth it.
Yeah, if you can
You
look
knew you
back
made
at
the
it,
right
it's worth it.
purchase.
You know, I'm not gonna lie, when I was test driving cars before I got my new Miata, every time I test drove a car, I'd walk away from it and I'd look back at it and think like, is this what I want to be looking back at like for the next couple years? Next like
No, it plays a big part. Like even
yeah.
now, like I had my car for a few months. Like I always look back at it. When I park in
Yeah,
the
I was
garage or park in the fucking parking lot, like Seafood City.
yeah. Yeah. Or like when I'm like on my little smoke breaks and I'm smoking next to my car, I just stare at my car sometimes like, yep, that's mine.
Yeah,
That's
that's the
I
right
can like
purchase.
you start imagining like things on it and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. It's cool. It's really cool. It's just a nice. I don't know. It's just a really cool hobby that they also like think about cars too and like customization and like tuning. Uh, Justin can relate to this too, but like I'm an artist. I like drawing. In high school, I used to dance. Like I'm heckin' into music and car culture and like your own personal car. That's just another like way to personify like you. Like oh, I
Damn,
love this.
you
Yeah, you can
nailed it.
tell what
I was
kind of
about to say the
you,
same shit.
yeah. It's like you can tell what kind of person they are from their fucking car. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's like it's
Yeah,
another outlet. You know, it's
it's another
another
outlet.
like
Yeah,
type of personality. Like if I'm more subdued, more like stealthy with my customizations, you kind of like you're more reserved type of person. But if I
yeah,
like decals, like underglow and the big ass wing, I'm more
yeah,
like um, flamboyant, more outlandish,
yeah. That
and
guy,
it
that guy
and
wants
it
to show
definitely
off, and he
shows.
likes it. Yeah, it definitely shows. Like you'll see, it's like when people say like, oh, like oh, people like dog owners start to look like their own dog. Like you know what I mean? Like oh, that guy looks like his car. Like Subaru
There's a reason
owners,
why.
like
This is link.
there's a reason why. Yeah, there's a link. Like you chose that dog or that car. Like a Mustang owner versus like a Civic owner or someone who like builds sleepers versus that guy who gets a crazy rap, slams it to the
Slams
ground. Has
it.
it's like you appreciate all of it because like at the end of the day, no reason to hate because that's just like who they are and that's what they want to show.
It's your car. Do whatever you want with it.
Yeah, you can shame like a little bit. It's kind of funny, but like at the end of the day, it's like you can respect it because that's what they like, and then like
Exactly.
your car has some stuff too that it's personalized to you.
Yeah, initially I was kind of like, oh, would people think it's whack? And after a while, I'm like, fuck it. It's my car, right? Like,
Yeah,
if I like the way it
it's your
looks,
car.
then
You like the way it looks, and you can like when you look back at it, like, yep, I did all that. That's what I like at the end of the day.
that's
I spent
me.
the money for it. And the people who are talking shit, they either just have like, you just fuck them, or it's or like they're driving like they're driving some shitty car anyways. Like they're just talking shit to talk shit. You know?
Or they just spent hella money and bought like an out of the lot fast car that they didn't build or
Yeah,
touch.
and they can't
They
tell
can
you a
barely
thing or
drive
two
it.
about. Yeah, they don't know.
It
Yeah.
reminds me of in Tokyo Drift when like the guy was talking about his car, and the guy was like, "Oh, you know how to read the brochure,
Yeah.
right?"
Yeah, yeah. That's really funny. We need to rewatch those movies.
We will.
Speaking of, we might do a little reaction to the Fast series. Uh,
Fuck yeah.
watch out for that.
Oh jeez.
Uh-huh.
It's
I
been a
haven't
minute since I
watched
watched the
the.
first one.
I've been meaning to do it actually for a while because like I haven't seen the Fast movies in like hecka long,
Yeah,
so I
right.
kind of just want to relive it. Yeah, see what
Bro,
you
back
know.
then we used to like watch shows like religiously. Like we'd hang out at my friend's house. We watch like the first movie, like the first like few movies, and we'd be able to quote the movie.
I don't know if I can do that for Fast and Furious, but I feel it. I don't think I ever owned the movies, but every time Tokyo Drift came on like TNT or something, I would always like, oh, okay, this is what I'm watching, and I wouldn't mind rewatching it over and over and
Oh
over
man,
again.
same. I used to watch it all the time on TV.
Yeah, it's like banger. I'm gonna watch
Wabaki.
this. Yeah, it's really cool. Car culture, man.
Hell yeah. Okay. Let's see. Up next, we have favorite cars. I mean, there's no like limited amount of cars you can list, but um, your favorite cars in general, like, and maybe like a short reason why. I'll start off with the R32 and R34. I'm gonna skip the R33 though. No disrespect to that car, but
That car, I don't know why, but it's been popping up in my meme in like some memes like that's like the skyline that's forgotten the little like people always skip 33, and
yeah,
I'm
I
not gonna lie
mean, I
yeah
like
I
it,
don't know,
but
but the 34 and the 32
I think 32 set the bar, and 34 kind of like set really really high afterwards because
yeah
they
yeah
had everything, amazing handling. It looked really
it
nice. Looks
looked
really
yeah
aggressive.
that look is very the 33 could have been that but like the 34 like uh what was it? It's like the cherry on top. Like, oh, they perfected it.
Mm-hmm.
They perfected it, and on top of that, it's like also Paul Walker and all that stuff. It's just like,
R.I.P.
yeah, it's all those things. And even
Yeah, I
now,
love
it's
that.
not legal in the states yet, right?
No, not yet. I'm waiting though.
And like, yeah, that's got people in the states like craving it more because you can't have it. You know.
What was the saying again? The forbidden fruit's the sweetest.
Mm. That's a good quote. Yeah. Okay. So those are the
Um,
top two for you.
Not top two, but I'm listing out cars. Um, One I really like, MR2.
MR2, very cool car. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Heard
think
they
it's kind of
spin out like
underrated.
crazy.
Yeah, because it's mid-engine, so like
Hmm.
the balance kind of funky. But I remember watching Tsuchiya, the DK Drift King. He was like nailing drifts with that car easy. I'm like, of course, this guy would fucking.
Of course he would. He can make it work.
Yeah, I just like the way it looks. My dad was a big fan of it when he was growing up, so like I think kind of like influenced me a little bit. I'm like, oh man, this car is pretty dope. It's unique.
Hmm.
You don't see
It's
many
very
cars like
unique.
that.
Yeah.
Obviously, the next one I'll probably list would be the AE86.
Yeah. That's a classic right
86.
there.
Yeah, I'm trying to buy my homie's car, but I'm not sure if he's selling it. But I would definitely want one in my collection. It's iconic. You can't deny it. That's
You're gonna buy an 8.6.
I would like to if it's for a decent price.
What's a decent price?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. When he bought it from I remember I picked it up with him. He got it for super cheap. It's not like it's not a GTS. It's something else. It's like the lower level 86.
But
But he
it's
got it for
still
like
cool
five
though.
racks.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's definitely doable. Yeah.
Yeah, he got it for 5 racks, and I mean, yeah, we had to get body work done to it, but he got repainted, body work done for another rack or two. For like 7 racks, he got a pretty clean like 86.
You should send me his IG or something. I want to see this.
Yeah, I'll definitely do that later. But I'm like, I've been trying
Okay.
to like um nag him like, hey, you selling that car yet?
No,
Yeah,
those are
driving
very
it. You
nice
sold it.
cars. Yeah, very nice cars. Okay.
And I know you're gonna kill me, but I'm not too big of a Honda fan.
Okay.
But the DC5 Integra or RSX here is one of my favorite Hondas.
It's very nice, and I think people like have been sleeping on that car because they always go straight to Integra, and then they're like, oh,
That's
they messed up
surprising.
with it. Yeah, I
I
never
mean,
hear about. Oh, yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
it's still technically Integra in like Japan, but
In Japan, it's still Integra, but I don't know. People sleep on
yeah,
that car.
I really like it just because it looks really good. First of all, different from like the
It
other
does.
Integras, and for a while it was like the best handling like front wheel drive car in the market for the longest time. The Type R version of it
Yeah,
was like killing shit on the
it's
tracks.
it's very. I don't know. It's a very cool car, and I feel like I don't know why people. I feel like people do sleep on that car for some reason. Maybe not recently, but I feel like when I got the car, it didn't feel like a big deal. But I like looked into it and I was like, oh, I really wanted an Integra, and then I saw the DC5. I saw how it looked. I saw what you could do to it. It's a Honda, so it got you can do like all these crazy things with the K20. Style wise, it was pretty nice. It's got leather inside, Bose system, which is really outdated by now. But like, I mean, like it's cool.
At the
It's
time,
cool.
yeah.
It's a cool little hatchback.
I'm not sure
I
if it's
love the way it
underrated.
looks.
Maybe it was just the fact that the older Integras are more affordable.
Maybe. I don't
Because
know, but don't you?
B18 was like super like available for like parts. Um, at that point, I think the K20 is still a little newer, so maybe like mods for a little price here. The car itself still holds value. I think it's still a decent price if you look at Craigslist.
They can. They can. If you, yeah. I mean, they're worth. I got mine at the time for like six. For they're just like a really nice car to drive, and I feel like they hold up pretty
Hmm.
well. Like looking at
Yeah,
my car, like my
agreed.
interior, I don't feel like it's super outdated. It feels like, oh, I wouldn't even think it's 2004. I'm like, oh, this is like nice. But when you hop in
I'm
the
not gonna
Integra, you're
lie.
like, this
It,
is a 90s car for sure.
I'm not gonna lie. your interior holds up. Like compare to mine's, there's not much of a difference.
It's really not, and it's kind of crazy. A little
Which
disappointing, but like, yeah,
it's disappointing on my end, but it's kind of cool because it kind of simplifies things. I kind of like the old school vibes of the WRX.
I did. You know what? When I test drove the WRX and I felt it, it felt like home. I was like, oh, okay, this is like a. I don't know. When the new WRX came out, I was like, oh, okay, it looks okay. But then like the more you look at it, the more it's kind of like a classic, and you get inside and you're like, okay, this feels classic.
Definitely classic influence. Like it's super straightforward. Like the gearbox super mechanical. Like you see like the shift knob moving when I'm driving.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah,
it's cool.
it's pretty cool.
I can totally see that. Does your list
Um,
end there?
no, I got a lot more actually.
Do you have a lot more? Okay,
We got
let's hear
time,
it. Let's
right?
hear it. We do have time.
I'll, I'll
Let me
say like
start
probably most of the
building a
generations of
list.
the Evos in WRX.
The
I
Evos
think
and
I like most of
WRX.
the, yeah,
Honestly, yeah, the whole lineup. It's like you're not. It's not like people will like rave over like the Evo 8 and stuff, but like any of
eight,
the Evos,
9, yeah.
it's like they're all really nice. And then same for Subaru too.
hmm Like give me any generation of those cars, I'll take them.
Yeah, honestly, if you like, I'd never go like, an Evo 10. Nah, those are kind of whack. You're gonna give it to me for free? Eh, I hate those too. Like they're all cool. They're all cool.
It's funny because like if you drive, for example, Grand Sierra, even if you drive like an early 2000s WRX, it feels like the car I have right now.
Yeah,
They
it
haven't
feels
changed much.
mechanical.
Like
Yeah,
even like the power output's the same, I think.
I think roughly. I never looked at the.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
keep
close to
up with that, but
250,
I'm
two
pretty sure.
sixty, give or take. And for the most part, it drives the same as like an older WRX, which
Yeah,
kind of gives it like like I was saying earlier, the old school vibe.
yeah, it's really cool. I was driving like going from my DC5 and then trying like a couple other cars. I was like, oh, this feels like I tried the new Civic Si and I was like, because I was like, I'm a Honda boy, so I'm gonna see what how the Si holds up, and it did feel very comfortable, but it also felt very like that mechanical feel kind of drops off. It feels way more like,
Mhm.
oh, the
You're less
the
in
power
control, right?
steer.
More computers like taking
Yeah,
over and
it's
shit.
taking control, and it's like, but then when I drove like the Subaru and the FRS, I was like, oh, these feel way more like you feel like you're part of the car when you're driving it, and that's why you get a manual in the first place because you don't want the computer doing everything. You want to control it a bit because it's your car and you want to have fun with it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
100%
it's
agreed.
yeah. Not to say that
Uh,
all cars like that are bad though. Just
no,
saying
no, definitely. Some of the new automatics are nuts.
they're nutty. Yeah.
Like the Golf R's, the BMWs, the Evo 10s dual clutch was clean. That was quick.
Or that
Like
I don't know.
yeah, the MRs because the MRs only came in automatic, at least out here. And when they shifted from like the next gear over, it was seamless because dual clutch.
Nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really
So I
cool.
mean, at this point, yeah, automatics are getting faster, but the driving experience is still not going to be there. You know.
Yeah, cause like I mean there's like the new Supra, it's not coming in manual, which really sucks. But I haven't even drove one, but I know like if I drove one, it would still feel good. Like they put a lot of thought. Like there's probably like a little reason why they put the automatic and they like really refined it to like how they want it.
It's faster
Um,
now.
it's you know
It's what it is.
there's room for a human error if it's manual. So why? I mean it takes away a little bit of fun, but or like the
Mhm.
GTRs, you know. It's like it does. I wish it came in stick, but like I bet
But
when
then
you
my
drive
zero
those
to
things, you'll fall
60
in
is like
love.
3 seconds.
Yeah. So yeah,
I'll take that trade off.
yeah.
I don't
It's
know if you know too much about the next car, but I really like the 3000 GT.
oh, I know of those cars. I always see those and they look so nice, but I don't know like much about those. But I've always loved the way those look.
Yeah, let me kind of pull up some specs, but it was kind of like, in my opinion, kind of the predecessor to like the modern um, Evos. It's funny because
Oh yeah.
it's kind of similar to like what Mazda and Fiat are doing. The 3000 GT came in the Mitsubishi 3000 GT and the Dodge Stealth were the same car.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but they were nice. For all-wheel drive, V6 twin turbo. I think they were pushing like 300 horsepower.
Okay.
And they kind of implemented a similar technology. I forgot what it's called with the Evos, where the tires will like turn in for when you turn.
I feel like I've seen that on a Up to Speed.
Yeah,
That's
a lot
pretty
of that
cool. Yeah,
technology was in the 3000 GT.
that's pretty cool.
That's why I'm like, oh wow, this is actually a really nice car. I was looking at them like back in high school, but they're kind of tough to find. And my dad also kind of like brought it to my attention. He was like, MR2 3000 GT. Take a look at those too.
That's like a funny.
Yeah, those are real
Danny,
nice.
Danny was selling one. Or did you see Danny post that on his
Was he
story?
selling one?
Like his auntie was selling hers, and I like hit him up, and he was like, "You trying to buy it?" And I was like, "Oh no, I was just saying it's fire. Like it's cool." And he's like, "What you know
Shit.
about it though?" And I was like, "Oh fuck, I don't know." But those are like hard to find, and when I see one, I'm just like, "Oh damn, that's clean."
Yeah, I wouldn't mind having one.
Those
Still
are
selling
really
it?
cool. Probably not, bro. It was I think it was like a month or two ago, but you can always check.
Hey, why not?
Why not, man?
Uh, let's see what I have. 300ZX, obviously classic in my opinion.
The which one? Oh yeah.
300ZX, yeah.
Uh huh. Yeah, those are nice.
Really cool. I made drove one. Is they're nice. I think the only issue I had with them was the engine compartment was super cramped. So like modding it was a pain in the ass.
You rode in one or you had one?
I rode in one.
Oh, okay. But like knowing it and you're like looking at it, you're like, oh, this kind of, or maybe hearing from your friend
Yeah, it
who
was
owned
kind
it.
of a pain, but like they were nice. I liked them a lot. I actually like the older model, like the early '80s. They kind of like a they kind of like a Mark III Super look, or like
The
a
early
Celica Super
'80s one.
look. Yeah, yeah,
Let's see.
like a maybe an '84 ZX. Yeah, that one.
Oh, oh yeah, those are really nice.
Yeah, I seen one that's like fixed up, clean.
Up and
That's
down headlights.
I
That's still a goal of mine.
love pop up.
I need a car with pop up headlights.
Hey, that's
I
my
just
goal too. I
love that
think
shit.
I'm saving up for one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
Is
get
it
to
gonna
it
be this car?
later.
If you could choose any car with pop up headlights, what would you pick?
NSX.
An NSX? Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I would pick an RX-7.
It was
The
tough.
RX-7 with that's very nice, man.
I know it's kind of. I get either way, but I like the NSX a lot. The way it looks,
Hmm.
it's like almost like a supercar.
Yeah, it's like Honda's supercar. It's like the back end of an NSX. When you look at it, you're like that's you know that's a special car.
Mhm.
Even
It's an
before I knew
Accord.
that was like
No, I'm
special.
kidding.
There is that little line of Accords that has that dumb little. It looks
But
so.
like,
Yeah, that does not look as good as the NSX. But yeah, that's like a funny you said that.
damn, I'm just taking up all this fucking list time. I'm just gonna go through the fucking list, and we can talk about 240Z, um, the Nissans S13, S14s, NSX. Obviously, I really want one. I'm gonna try to get one. I think that's a goal.
And the old one or the new one?
The older one.
Right.
S2000, classic. At this point, I think it's considered a classic now.
Yeah, I think it's a classic now.
Supra and RX-7 FD and FC.
Yeah, even the FC is nice. Okay.
Um, you can go, and then we can just kind of like discuss our lists afterwards.
Okay. Uh, I guess cars that it's dream cars or like favorite
It's
cars.
favorite cards in general.
Favorite cars in general. Um, let's see. Well, I'll start with the 240. Having a Nissan as my first car, I just like looked into those cars and I was like, oh shoot. And when I would see like
240Z or 240SX?
240. Oh, both. But I was talking about
Alright.
the SX first. I was talking about the SX
Alright.
first. But the Z's were
Great
really
ladies.
clean. And like I said, when I watched Han like fucking build one from the ground up, actually that video right there made me like go crazy for those cars. I was like, oh man, like that looks sick. And then like I started looking into it and how classic ones looked. I even looked on every time I find out a new car that I was like really dig, I go to Craigslist right away. And I start just
That's
seeing
what I
like how
do.
much can yeah, I'm like,
How
how
much can you
much
get
are
it
they
for?
worth
Out
right
of
now?
curiosity.
Yeah, yeah. Are they affordable? Man, I might buy one tomorrow.
I could do this.
You start imagining things. You're already looking. You're making a wish list on
I'm like, if I
Amazon or
if I
whatever.
sell this many shares, I can buy it.
Yeah, yeah, I always do that. Not even like when I just sometimes when I'm bored, I used to always go on Craigslist and just like, how much are Evos right now? Or like how much can I find
It's
haggle a
funny
guy
because
on
I have a fucking
Craigslist?
Craigslist tab open right now too.
Really, that's hecka funny. It's so I don't know. But okay, there's like the 200, 240 SX and Z. Um, the first car I ever liked. It's kind of funny. Hold on.
Damn, you ever liked?
The first car I ever liked, I remember it. My uncle used to have a car shop in San Jose, and I wasn't even in the cars, but I kind of want this car because that's the first car I like. I know for a fact like I liked. It was a Mitsubishi Eclipse.
Eclipse? Oh hell yeah.
The
Paul
Eclipse.
Walker.
Yeah, and I saw that car and I was like, those look hecka. Like the tail light looks like freaking when I was a kid I always associated the tail light with that dude from X-Men with the laser beams.
Cyclops.
Yeah, Cyclops because like it just had like that long line. It was like sharp at the edge.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then from,
They're dope. I love them.
they look really cool. And then like I don't know, that was the first car it registered in my head. Like I remembered what that car was because I
I
was like,
was a
I'm gonna
big
buy that
fan
one day.
because, yeah, because Paul Walker obviously drove in the first movie, and my brother had one that he modded, and I forgot it was like a GSR, but yeah, I think when he like took me on a test drive with it, and like I fell in love with the Eclipse. I think it's super underrated in my opinion.
I think they're a little underrated too. Like I mean, when you see a lot like on the street, they're kind of rice. They're kind of ricey, but I'm not gonna lie. Those cars are like the rice car. Like when you like look up pictures of them. I mean, even like Paul Walker's, it looks kind of crazy, but like I mean, it's iconic. You know,
It is
like
definitely iconic in my opinion.
it's iconic, and you're like, man, like I can't hate it too much every time I see one because I'm like, they probably watched Fast and Furious and went crazy, and they bought one and they like did their own little thing to it. It's cool. So yeah, there's the Eclipse. That was like my what's it called? I don't know. That's like one that like I never like really think about, but like it's in the back of my head. I always like consider it. Like if I had like a lot of money just to waste, I'll get an Eclipse and just like do shit to it. Wait, there's the
I would
Eclipse.
definitely get one.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah, let's see.
the this what generation is it? What's a specific generation?
Before I forget, he had a GST, which was like the turbo version of it.
Oh, okay. GST. So what's the GSR then?
No, sorry. I
Just
think the top of the line is GSX, the all-wheel drive version.
oh, okay. There was an all drive version, huh?
Yeah,
That's kind of crazy. Let's see. What?
kind of like the early 94, 99, right? Those years.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The little like the one line
Yeah,
tail
yeah.
light, right? Yeah, okay.
Hmm. The Paul Walker generation, right?
The Paul Walker generation. The eighth, I've always wanted an eighth gen Civic. I've always wanted an eighth gen Civic. I mean, I'm a Honda boy, but those, I mean, they say that's like the last true Type R, and
Biased.
like when I
I'm kidding.
when I saw like the Type R, I mean, my cousin got one when he was like in high school, and like I was like, oh, that's kind of sick. And then like, I
Yeah, he
just started
did.
seeing like, yeah, and then I started seeing like JDM versions of the cars, and like they have different taillights, they have different headlights. Oh, here's what the Type R version looks like. I like that was the first like Type R like I really thought was like really dope, and I want one to this day. Like if I have it, I still have my RSX, and if I ever get rid of that, I'm just gonna trade it in for
Civic.
for an eighth gen Civic Si because I really like that car, and it wouldn't be much of a difference because those cars are kind of built very similar.
Mm.
But yeah,
Little rant.
it
How come JDM always gets the dopest parts? Like the JDM parts
JDM.
look so much better.
I feel like I feel like the Japanese community they stylize things way crazier, and they just have like hella things. You know what I mean?
Because their
And
taillights and headlights are way, I think, cleaner looking than
they're
the
way
NA
cleaner and then
models.
like exotic looking too. They go
Yeah,
crazy. I don't
you
know.
get a good shit, man.
Yeah, that's what I like too about like Civics. You can find there's the aftermarket for like JDM cars are so vast, and you can
Hmm.
there's always like something new. Like I'll see on a car and be like, "What the heck? How'd you get this?" And like, "Oh, I got it from this one website, but it's custom and it's costed this much." But and you're like, "Oh man." Or like even down to like a small thing, like, "Oh, I didn't know those cars come with those front ends," and then you're like, "Oh yeah, it's an import," and like,
It's a
"Oh
JDM
shoot,
model.
yeah, really cool." So yeah, eighth gen Civics. Let's see, what is
I agree with that
oh,
though. I think the 8 Gen is probably my favorite generation Civics.
yeah,
But if I had to pick one,
I really like because I don't know the ninth gen didn't really do it for me because I was like looking up like the K24 doesn't rev all the way out like the K20 did, and I guess the drive fill was different just according to like what reviews
hmm,
and stuff, forums.
surprising.
But yeah, I don't know. Like look wise, like the FD2 Civic, the eighth gen JDM version, really cool looking.
Clean.
Yeah, but aside from that, um, aside from the Eclipse, the second car that I fell in love with was the Evo 10. I like people be like, "Oh, that car is ugly. It doesn't look like how the old cars." But like when I saw that
That's
car,
bullshit.
I don't know. That looked like the meanest thing. Like the little taillights. The taillights. When I was a kid, when I saw those taillights, it always looked like angry, and I knew those cars were fast, and it was all wheel drive, and it was I don't know. Those cars looked always sick to me, and I
Yeah, I
still
mean,
plan to get one of those.
yeah, I agree. Like at first, obviously, I was biased because I love the 8 and 9.
Yeah, yeah,
But once the 10s look kind of grew on me, I was fully on board because they perform better,
yeah. More
and
updated.
I like the way they look a lot.
Yeah, it grows on you. It like now that especially when that now that they don't make them anymore, you like really appreciate it because like
They
oh
look doper.
man, yeah, they look even cooler.
The forbidden
The
fruit.
forbidden fruit tastes the sweetest. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, uh, Evo tens always has a spot in my heart. I think I already said the RX-7, uh,
Mhm.
FD. I'm not super crazy about the FCs. I always like them, but if I'm talking about like favorites, FD. And that's very very much because of Tokyo Drift. Han made that car like
Drill
crazy.
slide.
Yeah. Um, what's the car I'm crazy about? The Supra, obviously. I think like everyone and their mom loves the Supra. If you ask anyone in the car community, uh, what's another car? What are some interesting cars? Um, just recently the obviously the Miata. I can't not like the car that I have right now. Um,
Recency
let's see.
bias. I'm kidding.
um, did I say Integra already? I mean, that's another car I own. DC5
You're a Honda
technically.
boy, so
I'm a Honda boy. Like everything I'm gonna say is like Toyota or Honda. Um, yeah, I mean that's like okay. If we're talking about, you said NSX, right? What's a more high end car that I would like go crazy for? I mean, my list is pretty similar to yours. Like the the S2K.
yeah.
I've always liked those cars, and like I wanted that car before I even considered my Miata because I was like, if I'm gonna get a two door little like roadster, and I'm a Honda boy, of course I want the S2K.
I think that's like the
But
ultimate roaster.
that's the ultimate roadster. But I don't know. I had extra money to spend, and I was like, well, I can get like a brand new car that's close enough to it. Like that's the closest thing I can get right now
Mhm.
is a new Miata. So I was like, I'll get the Miata because you never
Yeah.
know what you know. You can find like an S2K that looks clean, and then because they're old cars by now, you never know what the fuck someone did to it or worry about problems down the
Yeah,
road.
especially
I
with, like
wanted a
getting
new
high
car.
mileage cars. You never know what like someone did in the past.
Yeah, like they're beautiful cars, but you have to have the money to back it up in case it's not running or something's
Mhm.
wrong with it. But yeah,
Okay. Since you with that list, okay, I'm gonna ask you like a few things. Like for the 240SX, I need to name 240. S13, S14, or S15?
the forbidden fruit always tastes the sweetest, doesn't it? The S15,
S15?
the S15. I like when I every time like I have the option in like fucking Forza or something, and there's an S15.
S15?
I'm getting the S15 because I'm like I haven't even seen one in person yet.
Real
Like
life?
that car is so crazy, yeah.
No,
But
I agree. I agree with that
yeah,
one. I prefer the S15. Actually, it goes down. I like the S15. I like the S14 a lot too. Then I go S13. Because the S14
yeah.
with the cookie front, it's clean.
Like yeah, it's you know I have like a same like vision when I see the Cookie front. Cookie is that is like the one with the it's not the pop up, it's like the slanted
Yeah,
eyes, right?
yeah.
Like that's I get the same feel from that card than with the Evo 10. It looks fucking mean, but
Hmm.
it's also like a tuner car. Like it looks really good. I mean, but pop up headlights are always cool too, you know.
The
But
cookie
no,
then.
the Cookie front is really dope.
Alright. What's the other question I had? Let's see. You say you prefer the FD, right? Well, it's kind
You're
of given. I
talking
think
about
the FD is like the RX-7. I
yeah,
mean, FD is a better car, and ever since Tokyo Drift, the stonks in that like
the stonks on that whoosh, to the moon.
stupid.
It's really funny, but like I don't know. It that is. I mean, like you can probably like tell me a bunch of things about the FC that I don't know, but like the FD, I feel like it looks like I really hope Mazda might like revive that. Like in the car community, it's so funny. Like there's the craziest car rumors come out. Like they were gonna you hear like you always hear like oh they're gonna remake this car and it just never happens. I mean,
You never
it
know.
actually
Supra was
happened.
like the Supra they were talking about for a while. Then out of the blue, it's like, oh yeah, by the way,
It's actually happening. Yeah. Yeah, because I see car rumors right now that they might be making a new RX-7, and I see renders of it, and the RX-7, like the body lines of everything, like that car still like looks good in
it
today's
does.
standards.
It holds up really well.
It holds up really
Maybe.
good
I mean, I can see. I mean, the market is definitely tough for like high performer into like tuner cars. You know,
because like the
like
Super came out right, and then now they're gonna not Nissan's gonna be making uh the 400Z coming out soon, and like that's
mm,
another tuner car that I feel like a lot of, and it's got uh a lot of like body lines that harken back to their older models.
the 240s. Yeah,
Yeah, and like I feel like now would be the time. And then Toyota and Subaru they got their little 8.6 version out, and like a lot of things are
yeah.
like from the past are coming back now.
I think the time I think profit would be the issue. There's a reason why like Toyota's been collaborating with like Subaru
Oh
or
yeah.
like
Yeah,
collaborating
yeah.
with BMW develop these like new sports cars. But I can see it. I would love for them to come back. I think it's been a long time
Yeah.
coming. We need like a resurgence in like tuners. For a
Yeah.
while, it's like
It'd
all
be
eco
really cool.
boxes for a while.
Yeah. And it does suck too because like one if the market gets resaturated with like a bunch of like these sports cars, then people will be picking and choosing like what they want, and then like right now it's so like the Super, right? Oh, that's an old car that came back. Everyone's gonna get that because like the sports cars have been dying, you know. But then if it
Yeah,
gets resaturated, then maybe some of the other cars might like lose profit because of it, which is a thought.
it's possible. But I just want like a new golden age of like cars because from like 2010 to like 2018, it was pretty dead for like the
Yeah,
Japanese sports car community. And
yeah,
after S2K, after like Evo 10 stopped being produced, it's kind of like a weird area where like if you want an all-wheel drive sports car, Subaru kind of dominated that market.
yeah,
If you want a real wheel drive tuner, was you're kind of limited. I can even
Very
name one that was made like back in 2010, 2015.
a rear wheel drive tuner car.
Yeah.
I mean, the most popular one probably was the FRS BRZ twins.
Yeah, that's true. I think,
Like you see so many on the road. I mean, they're
yeah,
nice,
that's one. I guess you can
and
name
like
the
there's
Miata. They were still making a Miata at that point, but like high performance, like
no, not
Supra
like high
level, yeah.
performance. They're gone. Yeah,
Oh,
it's just those.
yeah.
It's just Miatas and BRZs, which you start seeing so many that it's like you wish there was other things to choose from instead of
Hmm.
oh what do I have to go back? What do I have to go back and look at to get the same thing?
Hey, I'm not complaining though. Like it is becoming more saturated. I'm seeing a lot more FRS and BRZs and 86s,
Yeah, so many. It's
but
it's nice to see though. It's nice to see.
mhm.
Like every car, I've been
Otherwise,
like I'm so happy that I see so many Supras these days. Like when the Supra first came out, I wasn't seeing any on the road, and I was kind of sad. I was like, "Oh man, are people not buying them? Because now they're not gonna make them no more." But now I see like so many, and it
yeah, a
makes me
few a
like
week,
happy to
right?
see. Yeah, you see a few a week now. It's like not that rare anymore. I remember how hard it was to see when you see a Supra. I mean, even to this day, like the older Supras, you'd be like, you still don't see those a lot. But when you see them, it's fucking cool. It's fucking tight.
Yeah, they're definitely getting a little more traction. Will like bring high performance tuners over. Like we finally got Type R. Like
Yeah, we just got
that
the
was
Type
big.
R. Yeah. Uh huh.
That was big. After like how long?
Yeah. Honestly, that car could look even dumber, and I'd still want to buy that car because
Yeah,
it's like the first one here. So you're
it's
like when
self aware of
people
what it is.
of what it is, and like when you hear stories about like people like back in the day, like my dad talking about like Type R's like back then, like oh yeah, like there's this and that, and oh we never get the new Type R's here, and now like it's our like generation able to buy it now. It's really cool.
Yeah, because back then we had to like buy an SI, dump money to it to make it similar to a Type R,
Yeah,
and
to
that's the
make it
close we
sim,
got.
and that's the
It'd be
closest
a
you
Type R
get.
conversion or some shit, a JDM
Yeah,
conversion, and that's close we got. And now we actually got like living, breathing Type R in front of us.
yeah, really cool.
All the margins or like the markup is stupid in those right now.
Yeah, it's that's actually the car I wanted before
Same.
everything. Yeah, I was like when I got my latest job, I was like I'm gonna get a Type R. That's it. I'm a
Hmm.
Honda fanboy. I
Yes.
gotta get it. But the
Yeah, I was
markup is
looking
like
too. It's
like
crazy.
40
Like,
40K for a car that's
yeah, no offense. I'm not spending 40K on a Honda. I know you're a
yeah.
Honda fanboy, but
I would not. Me too. You're not gonna spend 40K for a Civic though. It's still a Civic,
yeah, no, I'm good.
and I'm
Yeah,
not that.
like,
It's not like I have money to spend like that. That's crazy.
and they were tough to get. Like, there were times I inquire. They're like, yeah, we have it like on the lot, and like 30, 45 minutes later, they like text me, call me, it's been sold. Like, they
Yeah,
were going like
it's
hotcakes, and they still like email me like, oh, we just got a new one in. The markup's 10K, 15K. I'm like, I'm good.
yeah. It's you either see some that are so marked up that just like no one's gonna touch that. And then you see the ones that are like in the middle, but they just like 5 minutes after you look at it and you consider like
It's
I
gone.
think I will pay an extra 2,000. Oh, it's gone, and you're like, ah, it really sucks.
I need to add it to my list. Type R. Shit.
Yeah, Type R, brand new Type R.
I really like. I know the design is mixed, like, but I think a lot of it is like Western views currently versus like Japanese styling. Because if you go to Japan, you can ride such a card and it's dope out there.
It's dope out there. They don't. You know what's crazy? When you look at like ricer cars in Japan, it's not the same ricer that you get here. Like I feel like here it almost feels half-assed, but when you see like how they rice it in Japan,
They
they
commit.
like
They full
they
send that
commit.
shit.
They full send that shit, and it doesn't look cheap. Like I mean, it may look tacky, but it's not. Like what they do to it is very like a lot, very
Hmm.
heartfelt. It's
Anything this
really
kind
cool.
of what happened to Type R is very Japanese style. It's very exaggerated.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
It's
a
very
race car.
exaggerated.
It's
Yeah,
a race car look.
it's a street race car. I mean, it fits like what Civics are all about, and it's the first Type R to get into the states. They knew what they were doing. It's a fucking Gundam on the road. It's crazy,
A
and
fucking
it's sick though.
Gundam. I'm
It
dead.
it looks like a Gundam.
It does look like a Gundam.
Yeah,
Looks
and
like it's
it's pretty cool.
flying. Looks like you're driving a Zoid or some shit.
Yeah, it does, and you can't like it's got the crazy wing, the crazy like boxy side panels. It's cool though. It's cool. Fake vents.
That I don't get why there's fake vents on cars.
I don't get it either. It's so I don't know. They never you would think like when the base model came out, you saw the fake vents and you heard the Type R was coming out, like oh they're gonna make use of that. And then the Type R came out and they still did. They added a hood scoop, but they
Yeah,
still
you
had the fake vents.
you think that was in place? So like when you
Yeah,
make a Type R, they're like, oh, real ass vents. No,
yeah,
it's still
and
like
then
fake as
it
fuck.
still didn't happen. You're like, then why did you put it there? It's so weird. It's kind of funny, but and people would actually
It's
drill it in
funny.
the holes, but it's kind of pointless because like unless you reroute like where the wind goes, it's still like I don't know. It's pretty funny, and I really do like that generation though because it does look really aggressive from the front.
Yeah, the new Civics look dope. Like the sport, the hatchback they have, looks really
Yeah,
nice.
it does look nice. I mess with it,
A lot.
but they tamed it down for the new. You saw the new Civics.
I have not. This is a new generation already.
The new generation got revealed.
Oh wow.
It looks kind of like a Camry. I mean, I like the front. The back looks too Camry to me. But I'm just waiting to see that they have yet to unveil the hatchback version and then the Type R.
Damn. How long does generation last? I think I've been sleeping on them. Oh,
I
never
think
mind.
that
Uh,
you have seen it, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of
They
weird.
they they tamed it down a
No,
bit, but I feel
it's
like
weird.
you think it's weird. I don't think it looks that
The-
weird.
Well, maybe compared
The
to like the
last
last
gen.
gen. Yeah, I think that
Yeah,
headlight's way more aggressive in the last generation.
it is. I actually do like the front end. It looks like a more tame version of the last gen. I don't like the taillights
Yeah.
though. The taillights I will think forever that's a Camry. Yeah, I'm hoping like when the hatchback comes out,
Oh
I feel
wait,
like
Th- they're unveiling the hatchback today.
you mean today, like not because it's 12, right?
Yeah, like later today, because the 23rd of June.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. I'm gonna be checking that at
The
work.
timing. I want to say it really did. Let me look it up actually. Yeah, I think it's probably later today when they release it. Okay,
I'm
I'll
really
be looking forward
hoping.
to
I'm really hoping they make an SI version of the hatchback. I might cop that.
that. What?
I might cop that. No, I
You
won't
could
cop
trade in
that.
your car?
Nah. The only thing that held me
I
back from
would I
getting the
would see
SIs,
you. I would see you trading in your car though. I feel like your love for Honda will pull you that direction.
it might a little bit, or like even like nah. If it was time to trade in my Miata, I wouldn't go down to an SI. That's like kind of a downgrade. I'll go up to a Type R, or I'll get like the new 400
Is
Z
it a
when that
downgrade
comes
though? I
out.
mean, SIs get they have a good amount of power. They handle pretty well. Which
No,
Civics are
okay, it's not a
boosted, by the way?
downgrade. Huh?
Which Civics are boosted? The Sport,
Uh,
Touring.
the sport, the sport,
Yeah.
I think is boosted already. Like that little tiny turbo. But no, I guess it's same level. But I'd want something. I don't know. Let's see when the SIs come out. If they make it crazy, then maybe I will. But I want an upgrade, not switching over the same.
Yeah, like not like a linear like
Yeah,
switch. You know,
it's
like
like oh yeah, it'll feel like I don't know. The Miata is so fun. I feel like when I go back to like a non-roadster car, I'm gonna miss the Miata. It really, I'm like the more I drive my Miata, the more I feel like, all right, no wonder people really like love this car.
yeah. I need to test drive it.
You should. We haven't gone on a drive yet, like a real
And the
drive.
new cars, yeah, we will. Hopefully next month, give or take.
Yeah, next month,
Yeah. Oh
hopefully.
man.
I was just today. I was driving through. I went up Berkeley, and then I went through those hills, going all the way down to Martinez. That's actually
Hmm.
a really nice road to drive.
I'll give it a shot. I mean, how's the road though? Any giant ass potholes that I should be aware of?
There's
Crack
like
my wheels.
one. There's one really. Nah. There's one really crazy dip, but you'll see it coming. Hopefully.
God,
There's like one crazy dip, but no potholes actually. It was actually pretty nice.
it's promising. Yeah, I'll check it out. And
Yeah.
before we wrap up, any plans for your car?
Any plans for my car? So my car right now, for the viewers at home, is completely stock. Because I do plan on trading it in later, because I know that's like I'm not. I'm pretty sure I'm not committed to keeping that car. I always want to get a nicer car.
What? Really?
Wheels, huh? The Miata. I mean, we'll see. I mean, if I mean, maybe towards the end of my like after maybe like 3 years, if I still have that car and it's time, like I'm gonna be it's gonna be paid off and everything. I'm probably gonna be even more attached, and I don't know, but
Okay.
I kind of plan on trading it in for like an upgrade, and then I want to keep upgrading the car. That's the idea. That's the plan.
Damn. Well, that's fair.
Yeah, I
I've
mean, I don't
also
know.
had plans to get a new car.
Yeah, and then like by the time I get like my second or third upgrade, then I'll have like the Civic Si as my daily, and then that'll be like the trophy car in the garage. But anyways, uh, I'm gonna do wheels. I'm gonna do lowering springs. I don't want to commit to the entire because it's my daily, and like I put teens on my DC5, and I'm not gonna lie, as a commuter, it kind of sucks a little bit, and
Oh yeah, no.
I yeah. So I want to stick to. I want to get some nice springs that will be very similar um to
Those
the
are
OEM
OEM feel,
feel.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. So I just want to lower it an inch, get some nice wheels, maybe wrap it just to make it a more flashy color. Duck duck lip spoiler, carbon fiber.
My
It's
man.
actually gonna be a trunk replacement. It's gonna be connected to the trunk. It's not gonna be just a attach on duck lip.
Oh, well, that kind of makes sense because the way that convertible is.
No, you
Or
can. There are just like duck lips you can just put on it,
oh,
but
but you
there's a
want to
reasonably.
integrate?
I want to integrate it, and I found like a reasonably priced one. I was like, I'm just gonna do the whole fucking trunk, dude. Fuck it.
Damn,
Uh,
ballin'.
we'll see. Engine wise, we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. I need to look into it a little more.
Okay,
I don't know.
okay,
We'll see. We'll see about if I like add a turbo or something. I don't know. We'll see.
nice. I mean, can you just drop in? Are you the same engine? The Spider?
No, the Spider uses the last
He's an
generation.
older. Okay, dang.
Yeah.
So you can't just drop a turbo in there, huh? From the Spider.
You know what? Because I think the 2019 Miatas and above are 200 horsepower now. So I got to look into that if that's like a if it's a new engine or it's a different tune or if if they have a turbo now. I actually don't know. So
Okay.
I might look into that. If there's like a non consequential way or not too consequential way to make the power go up, and I don't kill my car before I trade it in for a new car, I'll do it
Okay. Sounds like
for
a
a
plan.
reasonable price too. Yeah.
Okay,
All
okay.
right.
I see you.
What about you?
I mean, I got wheels. I got like my aero kit, like lip side. Um, Headlights. I think I'm planning getting headlights soon. Um, Aftermarket headlights. They're more blacked out and have like better LEDs on them. Um, Carbon fiber hood and carbon fiber duckbill, like you. Yeah, that's a
The
good
trunk,
match.
the whole
Yeah.
trunk. Oh, okay, okay. I didn't know
Oh,
that.
let's see about the whole trunk. I'll see, but for now, I do have like a duckbill spoiler I could put on.
Okay,
That I
okay.
can, yeah. Um, let's see. I might get a splitter on the bottom of like my lip to protect it. I'll show
Yeah.
you how it looks like.
Okay. I'm not gonna lie. I'm having trouble finding a nice lip kit for the Miata, for the new generation Miata. I
You
just
check
don't
Reddit?
see them like, huh?
You check Reddit?
No, I haven't checked Reddit. Is Reddit a place to go to?
Yeah, they have like cool like subreddits for like different car communities.
No. I just go to fucking like Miata forums, like not even Reddit. It's just like
Reddit surprisingly fire.
I can see that.
um,
I actually use Reddit for a lot of things. I'm kind of dumb for not using
Same.
it for cars. Yeah. Like if I look like if I'm buying like a lot of things, like say this microphone. I'm not gonna lie. If I don't find a lot of reviews, I'm gonna check Reddit. Like, and more often than not, it's actually there. Like, or should I buy from this cart, this website?
Hmm.
There's a Reddit for that. Like, hey, is this website good? And they're gonna be like,
I do
oh
the
yeah,
same
I
thing.
bought.
I look all the time.
Yeah, especially for car parts, you don't want to be spending a couple $100 just to. It never shows up, or it comes
Hmm.
back. It's just the package. You know.
Let's see. Um, Coilovers. I'm probably gonna come into coilovers, and then I'm probably getting like a tune for my car.
A tune.
Yeah,
Oh, hold on. Another car I didn't mention is the new Veloster. That car is so sick, and it
Hyundai
outclasses all
definitely
the.
step up.
They stepped it up so much. That car. If anyone's listening and you haven't even heard about the new Veloster ends, go listen to a sound clip of how their exhaust sounds. Stock, it's actually like perfect. It's actually so nice. And the only reason I didn't
They
buy that
are
car is
awesome.
because they're really nice and like the looks, their little BMW blue that they put on it, it's really cool. It's really clean.
They're
I
nice.
didn't
I
get
really
one
like them.
because yeah, they're really cool. And they're like they're more affordable like Type R's. Like
Oh,
they I think they start at like 36, 38.
they're a hot
Um
hatch, right? Considered.
it's a hot hatch, yeah.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
got
I
that
really like
weird
them a
little
lot.
three-door thing. Really
I would
cool.
honestly take him over a GTI at this point, and this can come from a GTI owner.
Why would you take it over a GTI?
Based on like, I can't pinpoint anything right now. I'm like blanking out, but based on like the videos, I watched like a bunch of those YouTube videos, like straight pipes and all of them.
And they all talk like crazy about it. Like I feel like the driver feel
They
for that
love it.
car, yeah.
Yeah,
And I can see it. And I wanted to test drive one, but those were selling out like hotcakes too. Like I would see
yeah.
one and I'm like, oh okay. I would think like, oh, people are still sleeping on Hyundais, but no, they actually sell it the next day.
It's funny 'cause they sell out, but I don't really see them on the road.
I barely see them on the road, but I do catch them
Once in
sometimes,
a while, right? Yeah, but
once in a
they
while, and
sell
it's
really
actually
quickly. But
like,
I'm like, I never see them around really.
yeah. I'm not sure if they just didn't make a lot or what, but those cars are really nice, and I'm hoping they fucking the price drops like crazy in the next couple of years, and I'll buy one just because Hyundai
Okay,
still has like kind of a bad depreciation.
they do.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd definitely
hope
consider that down the road.
yeah, yeah. Like oh, if they're worth like 26, 28, brand new, if I can get one for like 20, sub 25, that's worth.
Yeah, like 25 ish, give or take. Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
consider it. Where was I? Oh yeah, wait. I'm gonna get a tune. I think no, not because like the whole power. Like I get more power out of it. Is you actually it drives better with the tune. Because stock tune on like the WRX is garbage.
Is it really?
Yeah,
Oh,
like first of
will it
all,
fix the rev hang thing?
yeah, it does.
Okay.
The rev hang is garbage on the
Yeah.
WRX.
I've heard of it before in like car reviews and shit like that, but like hearing it from you, like someone I actually know, I'm like, oh, okay, it's actually
You
pretty
can have
good.
to like hold the clutch a little bit for like the revs to drop, and then I can shift. Otherwise, like fucking
That
like jerks.
and that really sucks. Yeah.
Yeah, it fixes it. I obviously get like a little power bump, but yeah, I think that's it for now. Cause I was thinking about getting like a catted downpipe, but that'll fuck my warranty up.
Oh, I'm doing an exhaust too. I don't know which one yet. There was one I had in mind that I don't know the name of right now.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Exhaust.
I don't
Nvidia?
know about headers. I'm not gonna lie. Every car I've ever had, and I looked up an exhaust, Nvidia's always had like a very solid sounding and
Yeah,
like
they've been
performance.
consistent across the board, like any car they make it for.
Yeah, they're pretty consistent. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's all the mod for now, at least for me. Otherwise, like, I don't want to go too crazy on it.
Yeah. Not yet. Not yet. We'll
Not
see.
yet.
Yeah.
We'll see. Yeah, my mind will
Um.
change probably.
Hmm.
So
But yeah.
I, I think that'll wrap it up for this episode, right?
Yeah.
So
Cool little quickie. It
was
wasn't
it
even
quick
that
enough?
quick, actually. I think it was
I think it's
it
out.
turned out to be an
That's
hour,
probably.
but
I think it's the longest episode actually.
no way.
It might just be.
Okay.
Well, till next time, I think we're planning on maybe end this week and doing a little quickie.
And we're also gonna record too, right?
Yeah, after the quickie.
Yeah. Okay.
Like,
Yep.
cool. Awesome. So stay tuned, y'all, and we'll be back soon enough.
All right.
Late.
Later, y'all.